So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. Okay, Rockstar Nation, boy, we have two super guests here today. Aaron Wittenstein and Andy Scherer on the phone. And, Aaron's been on the show a couple times. The man is a master, is a crazy man when it comes to scripts, dialogues, prospecting, going out, swimming out to the boat and conquering the boat rather than waiting for his ships to come to shore. And he just amazes me, and I'm so glad he came back. And then Andy is actually his coach. And we're going to talk about the hardest thing for real estate agents. The hardest thing for real estate agents, and that is accountability. We're going to go from self-accountability to having accountability partners, to ways and technology to help you be accountable, to actually doing what Aaron does, and that's regularly going out and getting business so you don't hit that roller coaster ride that so many of us do in real estate, where you're up and down and you have 10 settlements and you have no settlements and you have 10 settlements and no settlements. So without further ado, guys, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
What's going on?
Huge fan, buddy. Huge fan.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you guys so they can get to know you better?
Aaron, go first.
Me? All right, so I am by far the third least best looking man in this group right now. So my name's Aaron Wittenstein. I'm a real estate agent out of Keller Williams in Westchester County, New York. I've been in New York now for 4 years, originally from Illinois. Ran a decent business, did like $100,000 a year. Moved here within 4 years, within 18 months, went from $0 to $12 million in production. Then had a team, crashed the team, rebuilding a team. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes. We'll go from 10 to roughly $20 million this year, all thanks to the boss back here. Priscilla, you want to say hi to everybody? She doesn't want to say hi to anybody. And there's Priscilla. She's the best looking group in the bunch. I do probably 60% of my business is expired listings, right, Coach? And then I run a Facebook group, Lead Gen Scripts and Objections. We have almost 40,000 people in the group. I teach expired mastery.
Wait, let me hit the break. 40,000?
40,000. We're 38,991 to be exact.
That's another story. I got to find out how you built that, but
I have no idea. So we do that. People teach me. I teach expireds, and part of the reason for doubling my business over the last year, I got the right people in place. Andy's my coach. I think it's cool to see the coaching relationship. Priscilla added on. She's an absolute, speaking of rock star, she's the epitome of a rock star whatsoever. And I'm just happy to be around really, really good people right now, especially a couple of one bald and one almost bald guy. So
that's awesome, man. What do you got, Andy?
So Andy Scherer, I am just outside of the Philadelphia area, and I'm the founder of Pillar 9 Coaching. As Aaron said, I have the opportunity and the privilege of being his coach. And so I've built I'll say a well into the six-figure coaching business over the past 6 months, and it's all by referral and invitation only. So I want high-minded, like-minded, growth-minded people that are looking to have a catalyst in their corner. And that's how I've built this business. That's how I built my a lending business. That's how I was a real estate agent. And honestly, I've had a stint in sales in pretty much every field that you can possibly imagine. But my values, my character is all built around those faith and family first, and really health, business, and mindset coming second. And very, very, very close second, but just making sure that there's alignment in all of my coaching clients. And that's really how they're able to push to a whole nother level. So that's me in a nutshell. And I won't go into how I'm balding or anything else like that, because I know Aaron will probably touch on that later on.
We've already touched on it.
We all got the same disease, so
Awesome. We all have nice shaped heads though, so it works.
yeah, that's right. It's the new style, obviously. So, all right, well, let's talk about this because here's the thing. I've always been the belief that success in real estate, if it had to boil down to one or two words, right, it would boil down to follow up, right? If you are a good follow upper, right, providing you got the lead to begin with, you're going to succeed. And I think that following up, even if you're following up, let's say with a FSBO or with an expired or with a circle prospect or with anything, requires massive accountability. And the fact of the matter is, in the world right now, most people are not, self-motivated or self-accountable. So for those people listening, tell us, Aaron, how are you so self-accountable? And Andy, what do you coach people? How do you coach people to be accountable to following up, to prospecting, to going out and getting it?
It's easy. It's because I got 3 children. I've got a wife that are dependent on me. I've got people that work with me. I was just having a phenomenal, conversation with Priscilla over here. I'm responsible for everybody. So it's not about having the discipline to do it. It's about knowing that it's me. And if I don't do it, that people that I care about are not going to have what I want for them. And I know it's coming from a place of lack, which Andy's, it's all about purpose and all that stuff. But, he has a totally different mentality on this than I do. But my goal is to make sure that everybody that I love and everybody that I care for is taken care of. That's my purpose. And every day I strive where I'm in the office every day, 7:45 in the morning, so I can get on the phone at 8 until I find that right person to come help me do it. Because if I don't do my job, the people that I care about do not get what I feel they deserve. And it's that simple. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. What I like is what the money gives you the ability to do, the ability to take off a Sunday, every Sunday. I don't work Sundays. The ability to be home by 5 o'clock. That's what it gives me the ability to do on why it's so important to me. And that's why this guy down here, he keeps me in check.
So Pat, I think it's interesting too. Go ahead. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, you go. You go.
Well,
I'll go.
So I think it's interesting too, and I started this. It's 13 years ago. I was with Mortgage Lenders Network. God rest their soul. And and one of the things that I used to do was actually exactly that. It was all about follow up because we were an internet lead based company, and I quickly realized what the abbreviation of follow up was. It was F up. We don't want to F up the follow-up, right? So when you actually write out follow-up, like I abbreviate FUP. So I don't want to F up the follow-up. And you're absolutely right. When it comes to follow-up, when it comes to accountability, those are the two things, honestly, that even if somebody is lead generating in real estate, that follow-up and the accountability is lacking, right? So, and I don't think that's necessarily just real estate agents. I think that's everyone in general. Like business owners in general, they will go 110 miles an hour and they will forget to track because they don't want to. It's not a fun thing to do, right? And the stark reality of tracking is that what gets measured gets done. And it's that plain and simple. It's what, Tony Robbins says, where your focus goes, energy flows. And there's so many, Keller Williams has their bold law where, what you focus on expands. There's so many cliche sayings, yet if we would just take those sayings and actually implement, because if you actually measure what you're going to do, it's going to get done one way or another. I would also say understanding when to have self-accountability and what to hold yourself accountable for, and then also when to level up into actually having a coach or having a catalyst or someone in your corner, either paid or unpaid, in order to reach that next level, to break through that ceiling that you're hitting if you're 10 contacts and you're not able to push through. Like having that awareness of when.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Because I think that it's all of those things that you just said. You can't, like, if you want to lose weight, you can put up a picture of a guy from Men's Health magazine on your wall with 6-pack abs, and look at it every day, and it's not going to give you six-pack abs.
That's absolutely right.
Right?
Mhm.
But it could help you, motivate you, right? So that you start to track your weight. And let's just use the same analogy. So you put a scale underneath, right? And then you put a chart where you write your weight, and every day you step on the scale, you look at the six-pack ab guy from Men's Health, then you write on the chart, right? And I think that's what you're saying. It's all of those things, not just one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in a lot of the times with coaching, I'll talk about habit stacking, right? So where do you start and what's the next step? How do you plus it from there? And it's bite-sized chunks, right? Like Brian Tracy says, basically you're going to eat the bullfrog, or when you have the elephant, you're going to take one bite at a time. So it's the same concept, same thing that exactly what you're talking about. And honestly, like with that health analogy, and just because of slight shifts in diet and everything else, and me actually tracking those shifts, I'm now at the point where I'm basically lighter than I have been in 5 years, and it's only going to get better because I'm tracking it. Finally, I've gotten out of my own way, and I think that too, just getting out of your own way and exposing the opportunities for you to level up, right? So like if you don't track, you also aren't, and you don't hold yourself accountable, you also aren't able to have that awareness, or you aren't open to those opportunities for you to improve, to actually get better, and actually to elevate your business.
Wow. Okay. So when do you know when you need more than just self-accountability?
When you hit a peak, and when you hit a plateau and that glass ceiling, where I was at a glass ceiling for very long. I'm sitting right here, and every time I'd hit it, and I never broke through it. And that's when you know you need the right people, because I was with someone else, they did a phenomenal job with me, but you got to a point with my previous coach where they were just telling me what I wanted to hear. And the funny story is how long did we know each other before you started coaching?
Long time. I was admin on the lead gen scripts and objections group with 3,000 people.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
I know.
So, okay, so let's make this real life story. So, Aaron, so where were you stuck? Like how many units?
Great question.
Where were you stuck?
Where it was I grew very quickly, like very fast, very quick. And I have the ability, I became, I want to say, a combination of cocky and complacent, if you will. And, it was at the time, when was it, Andy? It was right around the time when I had the twins. I have twins. And I just hit a point where that's when I started growing what I had no business growing. I grew to a team of 7 people, and I was not in a position to lead people whatsoever. Because, when you start doing leadership, that's a whole different animal. When you're just responsible for yourself, then when you have 6 mouths to feed, it's much different. At that point, everybody either left me or I let everybody go, and it became down to myself, and I realized that I needed to rebuild that. And Andy and I, he's a smart guy. He's smarter than me. He's one of the 10,153 people that are smarter than me in this world. And I don't even remember, what did the conversation look like? Do you remember?
With what?
When I needed your help.
Was it because he left his team, or was it because you were at a plateau? I mean,
he was stuck.
I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know all I knew was that I'm good at picking up the phone. I'm good at getting people to like me.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll add to that. So this is, and I've had, since January, I've had over 450 coaching conversations with people that I don't coach, if that makes sense. So since January, and it's such a common theme. If there's any common themes here, it's either A, I don't know where to turn and which direction to go in my business or my life, for that matter. I don't know my why. There's the second theme, and time efficacy or time management is the third theme. But just that feeling of being stuck, not knowing which way to turn, and I think a lot of the times is that you're too close. So you're too close to your business to even realize that next opportunity is legitimately 6 inches from your nose. And that's where Aaron was. Aaron was at a place where he took advantage of some big opportunities with building a team, and it failed, and he learned from it. And because he was too close, and because he was running too quickly with being in production, he wasn't aware of the opportunity that was 6 inches in front of his nose. And it just takes a couple of questions.
Which was what? Having a better team?
First and foremost, it was actually getting him consistent with some of the things that he was saying that he wanted to do. So there's a big difference between actions speak beliefs, in my opinion. So, when when you're saying something, but the actions aren't supporting it, we have to get clarity and justification on what you actually want. So we started there. And in fact, that's when Aaron drove here to Philly, and we spent a full day. We spent a full day understanding what he truly wanted, not only out of his business, but also out of the alignment for every other pillar of his life. And so that clarity came, but then it was massive consistency on a whole nother level.
Can I stop there for a second?
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me stop. Okay. I brought him over there. I've keep in mind, he's come to me before. So, I mean, we have this cool thing. We're 2.5 hours away drive. He's like, come to me. I will fix you. That's pretty much what he says. So we're sitting there in his office, and we're 3 pillars into this thing deep. And I've never been a huge one for goal planning and goal setting and all that stuff. Then he asked me about my family. And everybody knows how I am with my family. He had me crying like a 12-year-old girl that just got dumped by her first boyfriend. That's how in depth that he got with me. And it was one of those things where I always knew what my why was, but I never knew that in depth about how much it affected me. Because, and just with that conversation, we walked away because he's calling Pillar 9 for a reason. There's 9 pillars that he worked on. We sat down, we worked on each one. When was this? This was about a year. We're due up for another meeting, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
We're due up for another meeting. And that changed what I was looking for. And I wrote down what I wanted, and it's just what he was able to do was get to me in a way that no one else did. And it changed the way that I look at things. It made me realize that I need to just not be a person. I need to become a leader. And he's taken me on the journey of two things. 1, to become a leader, and 2, to become intentional. And those are the two.
What was the second one?
The
become intentional.
Become intentional.
Intentional. Okay.
Intentional about what I do. And those are the 2 greatest things that he's helped me with over the last year that have really changed what I've done. And yeah, so sorry, you can go back to what you were saying.
No, that's great. That's great. So let me do this. I'm going to just take the liberty to make up an avatar, a coaching client avatar. And I want you to coach this person out of their situation. And here's what it is. Basically, they're a top agent, right? They're busy agent. They're selling 3 to 4 houses a month, right? Which is great by themselves. No assistance. They have very high profit, right? Because they don't spend much money. Lots of repeat and referral, but they do prospect for business. They do go out and get it, call, follow up with their database. They're very good at following up with their database, obviously, because that's how they get so much business. And they want to take it to the next level because they've sold the same amount of houses for 4 years in a row. And they're very self-disciplined. So they don't really feel like they need more accountability. But Andy, as their coach, knows they need accountability. And so I'll just leave it at that. Like, what are you going to tell them on the first year of coaching? What are you going to do so they can make more money and have more free time?
Well, first of all, so I think that right there, and it may not be free time, Pat. And where I would start with them personally is understanding why they truly want to double. So there's a reason why they plateaued. There's an absolute reason why they plateaued,
and it's probably work fills the time allowed. You know what I mean? Like
that's exactly right.
Yeah, they can't. You can't do. You only can do,
especially on a referral and invitation business,
buyer and seller business as a solo agent. That's the reason.
Yeah. Well, in that, and probably it's impeding on lifestyle at this point as well. So number one, I want to make sure that they're in alignment with what they truly want. So I'm not even looking at the next year. I want to know 10 years down the road what in the world they actually want, right? And it may not be just business, So just starting with understanding what the business looks like, that's fine, but it's going to end up venturing into, how many days are they taking off in 10 years or 5 years or whatever else. But clarifying what those promises are, number one. So that's exactly where I would start. Right. So yes, you're saying I want to sell, now I want to double it. Right. So now I'm going from 36 transactions to 72 transactions in the next year. There's a reason why. And if they can't fully experience the reason why, they're not going to have an intentional or strategic plan in order to get there.
Okay.
So
let's just say the reason why is they're burning out. Their husband is pissed because they work too much.
Yeah. And I hear that a lot. That's it. So really, number one, they want a better relationship with their spouse.
Yes.
Right. So we're gonna establish personal systems to track that, because again, what gets measured gets done.
So you're gonna track their relationship.
Yep.
How many day nights am I supposed to have a week?
Yeah.
Well,
it's true.
Yeah. So between that,
how many? That's what you're supposed to say.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
How many am I having?
All right, go ahead. Getting to that point of, what does my relationship look like, and what are the disciplines that I need to make sure that I implement in order to have that relationship. And then again, if that's 2 date nights a week, that means that you're not setting listing appointments or buyer appointments on those nights. Right. So now you're talking about time efficacy. So now we're just going to set up the schedule in order to make that life actually happen right now. And that may mean that you're going to need to hire somebody. So then we walk through what that looks like and who they're looking to hire, right? And honestly, if they don't have the recruiting skills and we don't have the time to build those recruiting skills, we're going to outsource and leverage. So it's more so just working backwards. Again, it's that cliche saying that we're going to work from the end and then work backward to today. But if I don't know and they don't have clarity in what that relationship looks like with their spouse 5 years, 10 years down the road, you don't know who you need to become in order to make that happen. So that goes to, again, your habits, your disciplines, your mindsets, your schedule, and how you're treating everybody else.
Yeah, the old Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And most likely what's going to end up happening with that is that they will need to leverage. There's only a given amount of time in the day for the ideal lifestyle, right? So Aaron works until 5, basically. He's home at 5, Monday through Friday, if not a little bit sooner. And only works select Saturdays. So in order to have that lifestyle, you need to have leverage. So if that's the case and you want to keep building and keep compounding your business, you got to give somewhere, and you can't have that full control. So again, it's just establishing what those systems look like and both on the personal and the business side as well.
That's awesome. Okay.
It's like a full makeover for that guy, by the way.
But it's typical, and I think it can be done, and I've seen it done, and I see a lot of people doing it, and maybe including Aaron, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I want to talk about accountability. That's what we kind of came on here to dig deep into. I'm a big fan of accountability. I've always been accountable. I have accountability partners. We call them peer partners. There's 2 guys that I've had for 15 years that I, regularly go over goals. I'm at a point in my life now where we go over things like net worth and amount of, horizontal income that we have coming in. Things that are higher level used to be, how many dollar productive hours we each worked in a day, which obviously is, listing homes, meeting with buyers face-to-face, or prospecting, those 3 things. what is the best way today to find an accountability partner, and what things should we be accountable to daily as a real estate agent?
Well, you know what I'll say, the one thing that Andy holds me accountable to every day is what like I said, when we talked about intentionality, it's every day in the morning when I wake up, what is it, before 6 o'clock in the morning? If before 6 o'clock in the morning, I need to send him 3 to 5 things that I'm going to be intentional for the day, because what winds up happening is, I can tell you, you know what mine were for today. I believe one of them was to bring as much value as possible. Actually, let me read them out right now.
Yeah, please. Let's do real life. What are the 6 things that you want to be intentional for?
Okay, for today,
you know what I'm saying.
It was
Yeah, we got you.
It was 2 hours of solid prospecting to set 2 FSBO appointments. I did that. I only got 1 FSBO appointment. I said, find out the goals for Priscilla, who's my operations manager, during our 1-to-1. Turn off the phone by 5:30, and to bring as much massive value to Pat Hyben's interview as possible. So every day, I think the goal here is to get them in before 6:30 in the morning, because I do my exercise about 6:30 to 7. Is prior to 6:30, I send that to him every single day, because the thing is that what I was doing is I was doing things and I had goals, yet until you bring them, it's like you got these 3 to 5 things that you have to get done every day. And no matter what, these 3 to 5 things are what I'm intentional about to make happen. And that right there has been probably one of the biggest changes in my business over the last 6 months. I should say that probably is the most important thing. Now he's got me holding accountable to, what is it? What's the Friday thing with calling past clients?
Past clients, you got to score 100 points.
70 points.
Well, you got to score 70 points, right, out of a 100-point scale.
I don't understand that. Explain to the audience.
I suck at calling my database. Okay, I will call people I don't know all along, and I'm scared of rejection of people that I know. All right, so calling my database is very scary for me. So
okay, let's slow this down. So you're afraid of rejection of people that you know.
Yes,
which is understandable, right? You don't want to be an Amway salesman to your friends and family, because it's annoying to them, and if you're afraid, if you call them, you're going to be like an Amway salesman. I already know you're an agent. I'm rejecting you. And what was the second thing?
It's just being like, I feel like I'm annoying people, and like I said, I don't mind talking to people I do know, but people I don't know, or I'm sorry, people that I don't know, I have no problem talking to, but I have problems talking to people that I do know.
Yeah, I think I'm probably the same way.
Yeah,
like I just cold call someone I don't know because it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
I there's no face to it. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so what do you do about that?
So every Friday, all right, I have somebody in particular that I'm not a big fan of, that if I don't, I got to hit 70. So what it means is I need to call 5 people, and I need to get on the phone with 2 of them to ask referrals. So I need to hit 7 out of 10. I need to get 7 to 10 people. So like, let's say, for example, I talked to 4 people and I asked for 3 referrals. I've hit 70%, which makes it okay for the day. And if I don't do that every Friday, Andy has access to my PayPal account, so he can take out $100. He can send it to somebody that I really don't like and say, you're the best real estate agent in the world. So there's no way in hell that's happening. And, you know, I'm really making it a good point right now on Fridays to call my database. And it's been pretty, what's the word? It's been pretty shocking how nice people are and how much they want to hear from me. So those are the 2 things that we've really, really focused in on. That one's been over the last two months we've been focusing on that, right? Mm-hmm. It was a struggle at the beginning. It cost me $100 at the beginning, but I never wanted it to cost me $100 again. So.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
so.
good.
So Pat, just
70. Is there a minimum that you have to call?
No, it doesn't matter. I need to hit 70 points. I need to get 7. And you get 1 point for calling somebody and 1 point for asking for a referral.
1 point for calling, 1 point for asking for a referral.
Yes.
And you got to get 7 points.
Got to get 7 points. So if 5 people don't answer, I better call 2 more.
Okay. And so that includes, like, they got to pick up the phone. Hello.
Yeah, they got to pick up, like, it counts. No, if I call them and I leave a voicemail, that's 1 point. If I call them, pick up the phone, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I ask for a referral, that's 2 points. If I call them, I don't ask for a referral, that's still only 1 point.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. Okay. And so that's awesome. So 7, that's not too hard, right?
It's not.
No. And the reason why we started with something, and I hope that the audience can appreciate this. If you, Pat, if you're a brand new real estate agent and somebody says, you need to hit 30 contacts a day, 4 hours of prospecting, 30 contacts a day, and brand new out the gate. This is again where most people and brand new into the industry will end up sputtering out or just not do it, right? And they'll prepare and so on and so forth, and just wait because they may not feel like they're the most skilled person or whatever other reasons they're telling themselves. So with Aaron, we just need to start the habit small, and that's why we're starting where we are. So understanding also where to start, and obviously we've tried to start previously, and it hasn't worked. So we started as small as we can to get consistent with it, and then we're going to end up plussing it after there's consistency there. And we've done the same thing with his other systems as well, and now we're really working on those past client systems and referrals coming in as well.
What do you think about the word toolbox? What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Can you give us some examples of what other systems you've done this with?
Oh my God. Yeah. So his past clients. Yeah, absolutely. So his past clients right now, we've been talking about implementing a past client system, a referral system, an advocacy system, if you will, to deepen relationships with closed clients. And like Aaron said before, he's struggled with this in the past. He's experienced some struggles with it, and now he's sort of overcome and he's starting to implement. So what he currently does, and Aaron, I won't step on your toes, so tell him what you're currently doing with your past clients and how you're organizing that.
I beg, borrow, and steal. No. So what I do now is prior to closing, we'll go ahead and order them a gift. Hold on, I'll show you what we got. Hang on.
Where'd he go?
What if he doesn't come back there?
See, I'm predominantly listing heavy. So what I do is I take a picture of their home and we get it put in like an artistic thing. And then I get this canvaschimp.com. It's $28. I write a note on the back with my business card. People absolutely love this. And so what I figured out, this is a really good way to weed out bad people, because anybody that doesn't call me back and say thank you or send me an email or a text actually just got me. Then I'm like, forget you. I'm going to move on to the next. So what I'll do.
How much does that cost?
$28. Shipped $42.
So you give it, and it's like a digital print that makes it look like a painting, but it's really photographed, right?
And it's canvas. I mean, it's a canvas, so it's canvaschimp.com. So then what I do is once Canvas chimp, like
chimp. Okay. $42. Okay. So how many of those do you send out?
Every client. We're actually going through our old clients to go through and do those. So then what I do is when they call back and leave me a message or, whatever, I call them back and I say, thank you so much. This is the least we could do. I've got people and what I like about it is this is going up in their house. Like people are sending me pictures of this going up in their house. So it actually lives there and it's got my information right behind it. So they call me back. They thank me so much. They said, I've had people say they make me cry. And then what I say is, I BS with them a little bit. I say, there's two things. If you wouldn't mind, there's two things I'd really like to ask. Andy, I started the script today. I said, number one of the greatest things you could do is give me a review on Zillow. People really like that. Would you mind doing that for me? Like, yeah, of course. What I need to do. Automatically, we send it out. And I say, there's actually one more thing that you could do. I added this in today. The greatest compliment you can actually receive is a referral of somebody that that you feel I could help. And then I say, who do you know right now that is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I used that today, and I got a referral. Then from there, I send them, once they put the referral in, what I do then is I send them I can't get to because it's in my safe. We have these Starbucks gift cards that are printed with our logo on it, on the Starbucks gift card. I send that out to them as a thank you for doing the testimonial. Even if they don't write the testimonial, I still send them the Starbucks gift card, thanking them for the testimonial, so that way they feel bad for not sending me the testimonial. And they go do it.
That's awesome.
So that's the system that we put in place over the last 30 days. And I mean, it's absolutely, I got to tell you, it's pretty smart. So
this again is coming from,
is a no-brainer.
It's $42 shipped. So this is shipped $42, and it's the impact you make on people. This is their house. This is where they grew up. This is So
Pat, I think and I wish that you knew what Aaron was doing previously, which was nothing. Like, he was actually avoiding the closing table.
I wouldn't talk to people.
He wouldn't go to the closing table because he was afraid of that relationship or a tarnished relationship. And now, and you can hear it in his voice, and anybody watching the Facebook Live, you can see it. He starts to get more passionate, and he starts to really enjoy that relationship now at this point. And it's really interesting to see it's a night and day difference from where he was systematically for the closed clients, and now what he's doing to actually drive those referrals in the end.
He drove out to me 3 hours to come help me put this together. That's the beauty of who I'm dealing with here, is this guy really cares. Where if he had a client who needed help, he would fly on a plane and go meet them on his own dime. He doesn't ask me for gas. He just says, take me out for lunch.
That's neat. That's neat. That's cool. How about some technology, guys? What technology can people use to help them be accountable?
Good.
Andy, you want to go ahead? The KLI tracker?
Yeah, honestly, the most simple thing, because, and Pat, you asked the question before, what real estate agents can track. And it's the key leading indicators, right? So it's the number of new contacts that you have. It's the number of follow-up contacts that you have. It's the number of appointments that you set. It's the number of appointments that you actually hold. It's the clients that you sign. And obviously the sold. And then where people actually forget to track are the referrals that are generated off of those solds as well. So it's any of those key leading indicators. And honestly, and we don't consider it technology at this point, yet legitimately a tracking sheet. So we have what I call a KLI tracker, so a key leading indicator tracker that tracks all of that. It's just a very, very simple checklist, and people can print it out. I suggest to my coaching clients they keep a binder and they review it monthly. So as much as we don't consider a piece of paper technology, it was considered that a while back, but that's probably the most simple technology that someone can implement. Now, I'm a big fan of CTE, Commitment to Excellence, because of, again, it tracks all of their key leading indicators, and it really does a very, very nice job of summarizing the business in one snapshot. So CTE is something that I would absolutely recommend that people look into, just because I'm a huge fan of how it helps you track all of that, and just by, again, tracking it, it's going to help enhance your.
That's a website, or that's a.
CT. It's a program.
It's a program you buy that basically.
It's a program. Okay.
Yeah, it's a program. It's relatively inexpensive that just gives you a snapshot of exactly where you are, where you need to be, put your goals in, and it just gives you a running total of where you are with all your numbers, all the stuff that I don't like looking at. So. Okay.
And can you provide us? Would you be kind enough to provide us with that tracker that you just mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'll do two. So I'll do the KLI tracker, and then what I call an ascension tracker. So the ascension tracker helps you monitor and track and hold yourself accountable through a scoring system, the habits, disciplines, and mindsets that you need to establish in order to fulfill those promises that you're setting or the goals that you're setting.
Okay, that's great, guys. So I'm going to put all of this. I'm going to put both of these on hibandigital.com/trajectory. That's hibandigital.com/trajectory. Because really what we're doing is trajecting out. And I know you own trajectory.com. So that's
trajectorynow.com.
What is it?
Trajectorynow.com.
Oh, trajectorynow.com. Well, that might be, if you go to hibandigital.com/trajectory, we'll have a link to trajectorynow.com. We'll have a link to both of these tracking sheets. And I'm also going to put these tracking sheets in the Real Estate Rockstars toolbox. This, among many other things, are in the toolbox. Just go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text 444-999 and enter the code toolbox. And this trajectory sheet will be in there. These accountability sheets will be in there. And basically all of Andy's and all of Aaron's contact information, if you want to reach out to Andy and talk to him about coaching, giving you the type of coaching that he gives Mr. Aaron here, please feel free to do so, and it'll all be on there. And guys, I really want to appreciate you and thank you for coming on the show today, taking time out of your busy schedule, being live. Guys, nobody knew we were going to be live.
It's more fun that way.
Except me, and they've been great sports. So I appreciate you coming on and contributing like you have.
Thank you. No, we really appreciate it. And like I said, I think the one thing that we've really done, we've taken accountability to kind of like a different level, with what we're doing. And, we have a group that we put together at trajectorynow.com where you can be held accountable to accountability, scripting. We don't, and it's a really good community that we have right now of 81 people, I think. And, what I love about it is people are finding, what do you call it? What do you call your accountability people?
Pat, what's that?
Peer partners.
Peer partners. I call them accountability buddies, but he hates that. But no, it's a great place, trajectorynow.com, where we find accountability buddies and scripting partners.
And the Facebook group is what now?
Facebook.com/got-objections. It's lead gen scripts and objections if you type it in there.
So. I love that. Lead gen scripts.
And then what?
I got to get you to come back on and just spit out objections. And
oh, I'd love to. That's my favorite. I would love to do that, man. You let me know when we come back on. We'll have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. And best of luck to you in all your future endeavors.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having us, brother.
Thank you for watching Real Estate Rockstars. Please give us a review wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. We eat feedback for breakfast. And I don't care whether you give me a 1-star review or a 5-star review. I just want the review. I want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Would love to improve things. Hey, and listen, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get and the more reviews we get, the better guests we'll get for you in the future. Feel free to reach out to me anywhere on social media. Just type in my name. I'm everywhere. And I look forward to meeting you in the digital world. Have a great day, and thanks again for listening to Real Estate Rockstars.